Hello everybody, and welcome to a video that has been slightly anticipated. I've heard on TikTok and a couple YouTube comments several requests for sheet music, so not only am I going to be telling you where I have released my own sheet music, but also how you can create your own. And I'm going to be going through 5 simple, easy tricks that'll get you on the right track for transcribing or arranging anything that you really want to. So, without further ado, let's get started. Number one, this is not number one in terms of easy tips and tricks, but this is number one. Where can you find the sheet music for the videos that I've published? All of that sheet music is available for free in the Discord server. There is a channel titled Sheets, and all you gotta do is hop into the Discord server, click the verification button, and make your way over to the Sheets channel, and you'll have access to all sheet music that I have released, and I believe I have released up to Anamnesis from Another. Past that, I still haven't put out anything from the Akatsuki suite or anything after that, but that will be coming. It's all going to be completely and totally free, all for you to look at. And someone has already said it's fun to kind of look at the score, and I agree. I like doing it. I like looking at a score while listening to someone play. And so someone has in the Discord server has already said that they enjoyed doing that. So looking at the score, looking at the parts while I'm playing in the video, and if that is something that interests you, I highly recommend doing that for even just educational purposes, like learning exactly how I transcribed, and something cool to look at as well is how I started, like the Unravel, my very first video. That transcription is probably not as advanced as my current ones are, so it'd be fun, I think, to see the process, how I've grown over the past year or so. But that's just me. If you're interested in doing that, make sure you go check it out. Now, for real, we're gonna start. So this is a software I've used. I've already talked about it. This is MuseScore, completely free to use. The only subscription you would need for MuseScore is one to actually download and print any compositions or anything from the MuseScore website, because you can upload your own stuff to MuseScore, and then you have to pay for like a MuseScore premium or something to download it. I'm not sure. I don't have it. I use it completely free, and it works for me. Excuse my dolphin boy water bottle. Let's see, alternatives for MuseScore, if you are interested in something a little bit more advanced, would be Sibelius, or maybe... Man, I can't remember the other option from Sibelius. There's got to be at least one more. I can't remember, though. MuseScore is completely free, so definitely check it out if you haven't already. Super great tool. It's got incredible tools within this. I mean, look at this. On the side, there's just so many different things going on. So definitely check it out if you haven't already. Without further ado, let's get started. Today, I'm going to be retranscribing for you my Crybaby video, and or at least a part of it. And I'm basically going to just walk you through the process of basically what I'm doing. So step one is super easy. All you have to do is figure out the tempo and the key signature. And in order to do this, I'm going to pull out my own app, and I'll put it on the screen right now. And this is called Tonal Energy. What I'm using this for is figuring out not only what key the song is in, but also what tempo it's in. And this is a wide range of uses, from being a tuner to a metronome to recording yourself to analyzing your recordings, and it's just got a whole bunch of different cool things. So check it out. Not sponsored, but if you'd like to sponsor me, then go ahead. But anyways, I think Tonal Energy is just a wonderful tool for any musician. Seriously, just for the betterment of your own playing and understanding of music. It's worth like $6 or $7 on the App Store. Okay, so how do I use this? First off, I'll take the recording. I just happen to already have the key and the time signature and tempo in the thing already. Actually, this is wrong. That should be half note equals 100. So I'm gonna go ahead and change that real quick. I think I have to delete this. So yeah, the way I go about it is on tonal energy there is a tap tempo feature. So yeah, without playing the song, trying to do it from memory, I'll just do right, and then that comes out to 100. Well, my metronome's in 3/4 right now, but it's in 4/4. So that's half note equals 100. So quarter note equals 200. But I just think I feel it in 2. So that's how I'd go about that. Also, any tuner app or metronome app would work for this. Most metronome apps have a tap tempo kind of thing. So definitely, if you don't want to pay for tonal energy, although I think it is super worth it, if for whatever reason you can't, or you're just not, you don't want to, that's perfectly fine. Any metronome app will do. There are plenty of good free ones out there. And then the tuner aspect, I'll actually sing to it, or I can play the recording for it, but I'm not playing the recording for copyright reasons, since this is a YouTube video. So I'll just sing it. Da, da, da. So I was singing out of tune before. Been a minute since I've listened to it, so it's actually a C. I just know that. Da, 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 da. So C, C, G, G, F. I have the score pulled up. C, A flat, G, F. And that F, if you're listening to it, sounds like home. I will say music theory is super helpful. So like knowing all chord progressions and all that stuff, and knowing what chords sound like, certain chords, super helpful whenever you're transcribing something, because you'll be able to hear the quality of a chord in a thing and just write it down. You won't have to go in and hear every individual note. See, I don't know if you heard that, but there's some noisy cars outside. You won't have to go in and figure out every individual note. But to me, F just sounds like home, and I know that there are some A flats, some E flats, and some D flats in this. So that leads me to believe, oh, this might be F minor, which is exactly what it is. It's 4 flats. So F minor, that's what we're going with. And I'm going to go ahead and retranscribe this. I put this in part 6. So this is step 2, figuring out the melody. This is kind of easy. I think this is the easiest part for me, because I know what the melody sounds like. That's just the easiest part to figure out. So I'll think of the melody, or not think about it, listen to the melody, write it down, either go to a piano or the tuner app and just figure out the notes. Just plunk out the notes, and I'll write it down. And the good thing about the thing like MuseScore, a digital notation software, or sorry, musical notation software, is it will play back the notes for you. So if I type a C, it's going to come out as a C. But this is actually an octave higher, so I'm going to do this and delete that. So also another thing about this that I forgot to mention is it is swung. So I think there's a, yep. So this is swung, which if you don't know what swing means, it just means instead of having straight eighth notes, it's like they're swung eighth notes. So straight eighth notes would sound like bum 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 bum. Nope, that's not even right. Ba 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 ba. 2, 3. Ba 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 ba. Yeah. That sounds a little bit robotic to me. It is actually swung, so it's like ba da 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 da. You know, it's I don't know. Maybe I didn't do it justice. Maybe I did. But yeah, so finding out the melody for any song that you're doing is normally going to be step 1, in my opinion. Just because it's the easiest thing to hear, and it's also the easiest thing to work off of. Because once you have some notes on the page, you can kind of work around those notes and figure out what else is going on in terms of chord progression, in terms of harmonies, in terms of bass line, even sometimes. But oftentimes, it's bass lines are a separate thing. So I'm gonna stop there for that. Yeah, so that's a little longer. That B flat should be that. Yeah, so this is the melody right here. This is exactly what I start with. So yeah, tips on creating the melody. Like I said, just listen for the first note. I don't know if I said this actually. Listen for the first note and kind of work your way around it from there. Learn the intervals. And just figure out what's going on around it. I highly, highly, highly recommend some instrument, especially a piano, or even tonal energy, to just feel it out, figure out what these notes are. And even if it isn't even if it is your home instrument, if it is a one-note instrument like a trombone, that is okay too. I just prefer piano because you can not only do the melody, but you can also plunk out some chords underneath it and figure out the harmonies. That's super helpful for if you don't know music theory. Okay, so step 2, I would say, is going from top to, sorry, this is step 3 now, or tip number 3. So going from the top melody all the way down to the bottom of the bass. So something interesting that I do may not be super interesting, but I like to actually double the bass part as not only a bass part but also kind of a drum kit. And in this case, I won't do it for this transcription, but here's my criteria. Does the bass guitar part for J-Rock specifically, or any bass line, is it percussive enough? Does it drive? And what are the harmonies? So I'll kind of base my next decisions off of those criteria. In this case, in the case of Crybaby, the bass line is both percussive and it kind of follows the root note of the harmony. So it starts with an F. Bum, 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 bum. Ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Something like that. Bum, 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 bum. Something like that. I don't know. It's pretty recognizable, especially in this song, but in some cases it won't be. So for this, I literally just listen for the bass line and transcribe it exactly as I hear it. And in this case, this is what it sounds like. And I'm sure that sounds pretty familiar. So yeah, that's that. Step 4, or tip number 4, would be harmonies. Again, I cannot stress this enough. Using a piano or a tuner or something, if you don't have formal music training. If you do have music training, harmonies are going to be a little bit easier for you. But harmonies are, even if you do have formal music training, having a backup instrument to like just help you figure it out is super easy. It makes things go so much more smoothly. So I won't go through figuring out the harmonies since I already know them. Hello. See, I didn't even need to do that last measure. I know that the first harmony is... Oh, that's what I did wrong. I didn't even start in the right measure. I know the first harmony is F major. And in this particular case, the harmonies are pretty much taken care of in the song, in the original recording. But in some recordings, they're not going to be taken care of. Sometimes you're just going to have to make things up on the fly, which is completely okay. Making things your own thing is kind of what creativity is all about. I personally just like to use the recording as a sort of crutch. Especially when I first started out in arranging, or transcribing, I was really nervous to do my own thing, either for fear of displeasing an audience or for fear of just getting something wrong or messing it up. But I've gotten a little bit more adventurous nowadays, and I'd like to continue to do that kind of thing. But for starting out, I think these are really solid ways to just take it slow and make it an easy process for transcribing. Again, getting creative is not a sin at all. So definitely do that when you're doing stuff like this. Now for harmony, F major contains F, C, and A flat. So I'll drag this down to C, and I'll drag this down to A flat. I believe that's right. Yep. And now, actually the first two measures are the exact same in this case. So I'm just going to continue with that. And these top three trombones are imitating a pianist. Just dun 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 dun, and I'll play it for you real quick. There you go. Now the next chord is D, F, A flat, D, F, and A flat. So that would be a D diminished chord. Or maybe it's not D, but it's some sort of diminished chord. So I have A flats in this measure and D naturals in this part. So this is what the first three measures sound like. Yep. So that's that. And these two measures are also repeated. So I'll just go ahead and repeat that, just for sake of completeness. Yep. So that's that. This is just kind of the process I go through for building up any given section, and I'll go section by section like this. I'll start with the melody, then the bass, then the harmony, and finally, the fifth tip is making things more full by doubling. In this case, I didn't double anything except for the bass line, but here's my reason why. Not only is the bass line super important, like the melody, it could also apply to the melody. I could have just as easily doubled the melody, but for soloistic reasons and being able to just kind of do glisses and inflection things that I didn't want to recreate in a second part and match, I just kept it as one part. Whereas the bass line, I wanted just more support, because specifically for me, around the time I was arranging this and recording this, I was brand new to the bass trombone, and I just didn't know exactly what I was doing. All I knew was put air through the horn, press second trigger. That was about it. And so I just wanted a little bit of extra support for myself to double the part, and it worked out. It's got a pretty full sound. And another reason I do this is for later on in the creation process of these videos, when I'm recording, or rather mixing, I'll take the parts and I'll pan them left and right. And so for parts 7 and 8, I'll pan 7 left and 8 right, or vice versa. That way it just sounds a lot more full. Some people recommend you record every part twice to get that, and pan one 8-part choir to the left, one 8-part choir to the right. I can see how that would be super helpful, but with how, for chop reasons, for these arrangements that I do, I personally don't go that path. I just manually double the parts whenever I feel like extra fullness is needed. Other times, I'll just let the parts do their own thing. So yeah, though this is the first like 4 measures, and let me just go ahead and add this last one in the bass part. It is the same twice. And you can go ahead and take a look at this entire score. There's some balance stuff that I am not getting right. Like, this should be fortissimo. These are both labeled forte, and I think this just blends these out a little bit better, because the top parts right now kind of overwhelm. But yeah, I won't go too much into detail there. You can take a look at the score. Again, it's for free on the Discord server. And take a look at the rest of it. I highly recommend it. You might be able to learn some stuff. So yeah, those are just some 5 like checklist items that I use whenever I'm transcribing something or arranging something. So I hope these helped. If they did, comment, like the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If they didn't help, or if there's still some holes that I've left, some blanks that I might need to fill in, feel free to ask me in the comments or over on the Discord server for any clarification on any part of this video. I know it's a little bit scatterbrained because I don't do these like talking videos with a script or anything, simply because I don't have the time to write a script. But yeah, I hope this helped in some form or capacity, and I hope you enjoyed it. So yeah, have a good day.